Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a very quick video. It is an idea that is simple as simple can be, but I also thought it warranted taking a few minutes to point it out because we're going into a season of, gift baskets and floral arrangements and that sort of thing. Before we get to that, though, I just wanted to show you. Now, this idea is one that I've discussed in the Saving Time in Your Craft Room series. And basically, all I've done with these papers is what I showed you that I do with any sort of paper, which is cut them up, fold them up, have them ready to go. Now, this one, I shouldn't handle it too vigorously. This is flocked, and this thing is shedding. So I did have these papers under weight to sort of, help with the, to train the paper to stay folded. This is, and I should say that these were rolls of wrapping paper, really special stuff, and I've had them for so long. Obviously waiting for something very, very special. So, I love burgundy, so it won't be a surprise to see that I have this. This also is flocked, but somehow this didn't create as big a mess. So, right now, the way my studio is set up, I have a number of taller containers that are behind the door. Bad feng shui, by the way, of wrapping paper and anaglypta wallpaper and what else? Wallpaper gift wrap, maybe that's it. Anyway, and I had rolls of this stuff sitting there. And it's one of those things, like I said, I was feeling a bit under the weather, can't really muster up too much energy to do too much of anything. So that was a good fill in the time, be productive kind of activity. And as always, maybe can't tell so much with these. As always, I try my best to get to have the least waste possible. So I would have done, the 8.5 by 11 or maybe 8 by 11 type of size, and then, either bigger or smaller depending on what was left over. So you can see that a few of these are a bit wider, and when the time comes, I will decide what to do with them. And then finally, this is just another one, again, burgundy with these dots. Variety of sizes here as well. So I'm just going to add this to the signatures that I already keep in 2 or maybe is it 3 drawers in my filing cabinet. So I have oodles of papers ready to go. And again, I'll just say that I do this with everything, whether it's, oh, this is a bad paper clip. Probably gonna, I do, it doesn't matter if it's packaging or something, fancy and flocked, but, and eventually I will take the clips off. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that before I put this away. This is related in a sense, and this is the subject of today's video. I don't even know where this came from. Maybe it was wrapped around some flowers or something. Don't remember, and it doesn't really matter. I just know that there will probably be things like this coming into your home over the holidays. So I just decided to cut them up into pieces that made sense, and then to run them through the sewing machine. Now, you can see that this is not very big. It's what is that? Just a little over 6 inches and about 10 inches long. And I've stitched it top and bottom with a straight stitch. So once this gets folded, like so, and becomes a signature page, I've got a pocket and a pocket. And more importantly, I have these pieces of cello, dealt with. So here is another one. This one is taller, so 3, 6, 7, 8, and again, whatever weight. Now, these things are not exactly precise. I did the best I could. I was surprised, to be honest, how easy it was to sew them, though, because you would think that it would be very slippery, but yet it wasn't. So in this case, I've stitched around the 3 sides. So this would be a signature with top-loading pockets. So, and this is the last of the white. And, there are creases in it and so on. There must have been a fold there or something. I'm not too concerned about that. We'll see how it goes when I'm ready to use it. And worst case scenario, if I had to cut it down, that wouldn't be the end of the world either. Might just have to, touch up the glue, reinforce a bit with the glue where the stitching is, would be cut. But in most I think in every case, I, did a few back stitches. Now, I had this as well. And this is lovely. I mean, it's a pink lacy thing. And initially, like these rolls are a bit unwieldy, and I was just doing it here on my cutting mat. And so what I was doing was, first of all, I squared it off with my carpenter's square, and you know what that is. You've seen it before. But then I was making my marks. I was measuring, and I was making my marks with a Sharpie. But then it was so hard to see, so I went to the opposite extreme, and I started using a royal, like a dark blue, which you can see there. And easy to see, but it was an error in judgment, because you can see these tinges of blue. Now, in some places, like on these where I used a straight stitch, I can trim that off. And these little things are so staticky. Anyway, learn from my bad decision. And if you decide to do something like this because you want your pieces to have some regularity and be, pretty uniform, then, see, look what I have here. I don't want to really cut this stitch, but anyway, it will be as good as the effort you put into it. Don't you hate when your mother was right about stuff like that, or your teacher? So again, similar thing. These would be side loading. And if you've ever had a piece of cellophane, the first ones I did, I zigzagged, which means depending how close I got to the edge, I risk cutting the stitching. So we're not going to look too carefully. But back to the cellophane. Sometimes that if there's a tear in it, it will just go forever, like a run in pantyhose. Does anyone remember pantyhose? Oh, see, I didn't do a very good job trimming. I tried to neaten these up before I turned on the camera, but clearly I didn't. I missed that one. And because of the width of the paper, see, I don't know. I might be gluing something over that. Because of the width of this stuff, okay, let me show you. This was the width. So I have one that's a normal signature, or an 8 by 11 or whatever. And then I had this one wider. And then after I started sewing them, I think, well, that wasn't very smart, woman. Because I would have to cut it, which would kind of, you know, what is the word? You know, the integrity of my stitching would suffer. Okay, so what is this? This is actually 13 inches. But then I thought, okay, you've cut it that way, you've stitched it that way, just let it be, and kind of cross that bridge when you come to it. But I was thinking that if this was going to be a signature, you know, maybe a person would fold this in. Okay, let's first fold it. Let's get it, say 5 inches. 3, 4, 5. I don't think these things would hold a crease, but anyway. So what I could do on this side, that's wider, is fold it over and maybe have like a pocket here and a pocket here. So not really the end of the world. Maybe I should fold that in so it doesn't take as much space when I try to file these things. And this is the last one. I could also, although I'm almost out of this hot pink thread that I used, I could also just, you know, chop that off and get rid of the, or this end, get rid of the blue as well as the, let's do the same thing. Let's do 5 inches. I hope you guys are well. I hope that whatever Christmas plans you have are proceeding nicely. We still don't have any snow. It's still a little bit hard getting into the mood. A little stymied with my Christmas shopping ideas. We won't be hosting anything, so that's, can't say I missed the pressure of that. But I'll show you one last thing before I go. I just sometimes forget to ask about your well-being and to express my hope that you are well and coping with the December pressures and all that jazz. This was my original idea, using cello. This is lovely, obviously, but when I did this a few weeks ago, I backed it onto this grid paper that came out of a pad, and it has the holes, but I didn't care. And, you know, obviously, there's something to be said for this, because if I were to stick something in there, you know, it's maybe more visible against that white background than you know, it's kind of two different things. So anyway, that is, I was really happy with how these turned out. Now I think I did 3 of them. Oh yes, on this one, because it seems to me it had a fold here or something. So I just bent that over, glued it down. It kind of disguises the holes on that side, adds a wee bit of, you know, strength, I guess. But I thought these were really cool. And of course, I had already packed up most of the Christmas stuff, so I didn't realize that I made these differently than the ones I just showed you. So, good memory, just short. So basically, that's all I wanted to show you today. So keep an eye next time you get, flowers, or if somebody gives you a gift basket, whether it's in December or your birthday or whenever, that especially if it's decorative, it could be a really nice element in your project, as well as, pretty nice sized pockets as well. And really peanuts to doing them. Like I said, I didn't bother gluing or clipping even the edges. I was able to hold it, steady enough as I ran it through the sewing machine. If you end up making marks like I did, it is definitely simpler to use a straight stitch, because then it's easier. It's not as risky when you go to trim it. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that if you are not yet a subscriber, that you choose to do so, that you like and comment and so on. I love receiving or reading your comments. I love replying to your comments. And maybe we have a couple minutes. Maybe I should do a plug for the Happy Mail movement thingamajig. Oh, let me reach the paper. I got 2 envelopes today, but I'm not going to do a video probably till I get a couple more. I know there are more en route. Oh, see, I should use my little whiteout thing. These things, they either work or they don't. There's not much in between here. Okay, so brainchild of Kim Newberg. And the hashtag is Happy Mail Movement. Essentially, you build your own envelope, kind of probably the simpler the better. And I know that I have it's actually a food scale, but it is accurate, an electronic scale. So I typically gather up a few things that I'm going to put in, and really, based on what I've sent out, based on what I've received, based on the videos I've watched of people sending and receiving stuff, it's as varied as the people doing it, as is the design of the envelopes. So put in, with the envelope and everything, no more than 30 grams in weight, and that includes the US. My thing is open to Canada and the US only. And so the contents can be fussy cuts or journaling cards or little bits of ephemera, or I've seen people, put scraps of, scrapbooking paper, or digitals, or whatever your little heart desires. And basically what will happen in the end is that I think most people who are taking part, and if you go to Kim Newberg's channel, in her description box, you'll see that she's listed the channels that are participating. She's looking for more. Most of them are Canadian at this point. I think she's got a couple of Americans. And basically her plan, and I'm going to copycat it all the way, is eventually, and maybe I should just, well, you probably saw me do that video, carefully open the envelopes, and then eventually they will be bound into a journal. and all the goodies that came from a particular person are staying with that envelope so that it all becomes very significant. And I have to say, it is a real treat to go to the post office and find that among the junk mail and the sales flyers and the bills, to see something decorated so beautifully and know that it came with somebody's good intentions is just, I mean, it makes your day. It truly does. So if you take part, and you can do this as many times as you want. You can send an envelope to all the channels that are taking part, knowing that you will receive one in return. So I have about 3, well, I guess now, yeah, I think I have 3 or maybe 4 now that I have to get out. So I'll be doing that in the next little bit. Hopefully get them out before the end of the week. Let's leave it at that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. And don't forget that a creative mess is better than tidy idleness. See you guys. Bye.